Welcome to another episode of We'll Fix It in Post Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Don Vega, who has not scarfed the sandwich down his gullet.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I didn't do it on air.
Neither did I.
Everybody heard you breathing hard.
That's just my heart.
He's Joe scarfing down grease Sonnenblick.
Oh, not grease at all. Oh, delicious. Ivarone Brothers in Maspeth, the best sandwich around. Best.
You've changed, man.
What?
I mean, giving shout outs to Queens things now. That's what you're doing.
It was the best sandwich around when I was a kid. I used to come to Maspeth from Brooklyn to get a sandwich.
Sad.
There were no good sandwich spots in Williamsburg. At all. I mean, there's Anthony and Son Panini Shop, but I'm not giving them any shine. I don't like them.
Okay.
I don't like them.
Did Anthony took your money when you were a kid?
Nah, I just don't like any of them from the neighborhood. Sabino and all those fucking guys. I don't like any of those fucks. They're not going to watch this.
You're going to get tossed in the back of a demon mob limo. That's just like the last movie.
Give me a break.
They're gonna smack you with their demon dicktail.
You know, fuck me at a party at a full.
You don't like the prosciutto, huh?
I think you like put prosciutto and brajol in together in some weird.
It's a sandwich.
So we're gonna be doing The Shining, 1980. Here's the IMDb synopsis. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where a sinister presence influences the father into violence while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past, present, and future. Which, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good little synopsis if you really want to condense it. Have you ever read this book?
Nope.
No? Okay. The book, there's so much more detail in the book. It is.
I think I've heard that before. That is like crazy. Way more involved.
Trivia. There were so many changes to the script during shooting. A scene change was made almost daily that Jack Nicholson claimed he stopped reading it. He would only read the new pages that were given to him each day. Nicholson also said that eventually, when presented with a revised scene, he would throw it in the trash, knowing another was coming anyway. Shelley Duvall suffered from nervous exhaustion throughout filming, including a physical illness and hair loss because of Kubrick.
Yeah.
Kubrick really fucked her life up.
He fucked a lot of people's lives up, I heard.
Yeah. Philip Stone, who I believe played Delbert Grady, recalled of his scene with Jack Nicholson. We shot it 50 or 60 times. I should think always in one take. Then Jack Nicholson, Stanley, and I would sit and look at each other. Jack would say, "That was pretty good, wasn't it, Stanley?" And Stanley would say, "Yes, it is. Now let's do it again." Stephen King has never understood why people find the movie so scary. I don't understand what you're talking about, Stephen King. I always found this movie fucking frightening. Not because of the horror. Not because of the horror necessarily. Because how good the actors were and how on point this script is. This is
The kid was phenomenal.
And he never really did anything after this.
Did he get a good contract with some nice residuals? Maybe he didn't have to.
I don't know.
Maybe he got some nice royalties.
He's a professor now at a community college.
Okay, so
here's your answer. Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick's version of Wendy Torrance is one of the Stephen King said Stanley Kubrick's version of Wendy Torrance is one of the most misogynistic characters ever to be put to film. He said she's just there to scream and be stupid. I don't know about that. I mean, I don't know. Stephen King hated this movie, and he also hated Stanley Kubrick.
I mean, if you wrote something that had that character being much more autonomous than what was shown, then sure,
up to the director.
Of course, yeah, everybody knows that. But but he can have his opinion if he thinks it's trash. It's trash.
Yeah, and you could also
you think about it also, right? Kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but this movie was not a short movie.
Nope.
there was plenty of time for some more exploration of that character. You didn't really explore Jack Nicholson's character all that much. He was very much so a background character as far as I'm concerned. He had his little craziness going on, but there wasn't no character development of him. You just saw him dive into madness. He was just some dude that went into, and he was already a dick.
Well, yes, that's part of it. Also,
he was already a dick.
He's an alcoholic, and he was dry for a while, so he's clearly going through it because he's a dick. Because
he was dry for 5 months. It's not like he was going through withdrawals 5 months later.
If you're
he was just a piece of shit.
If you're a real drunk, 5 months is an eternity. A week is an eternity. So clearly, the way, and we'll get to it. But Nicholson. So yeah, the movie's 2 hours and 30 minutes long. This is one of those films, though. It flies by.
Yeah,
it's
very fast-paced.
Flies by. Like, it's not even the pacing, because the pacing is not necessarily fast. It just flies by. And I've also noticed that movies that tell you, like, what day it is, what time it is, those movies generally go by very slowly. This film does not. Just like that, it's over. You want to tell me what was going on in 1980?
1980. Some major news events in history. U.S. defeats Soviet Union in ice hockey in what was labeled the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Mount St. Helens eruption on May 18th in Washington, killing 57 people.
Don't be there.
The Iran-Iraq war begins September of 1980. He said, don't be there.
Yeah.
It's Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley. The alley of tornadoes. Why would you live there?
I would move.
CNN began broadcasting on June 1st.
Tommy Pinko Rag. Hello.
Again, I think it has to be.
Hello.
I think I'm hitting something in my head.
We're on.
That's making it. It's just
don't tell them. Don't tell the people what we don't know. What they don't know. But
there's things going on in my ear. It's 2 movies we've watched where there's been hallucinations. I don't need to hear other voices in my head. 3M begins sales of its latest product, Post-it notes. So Post-it notes came in 1980. A sticky piece of paper was invented in 1980. Former Beatle John Lennon is shot to death.
Don't be there.
He's severe summer heat wave in southern U.S. causes 1,117 deaths in 20 states.
Don't be there.
U.S. passes crude oil windfall profits tax act to tax high profits by oil companies. Fire destroys the MGM Grand Hotel in Las Vegas.
Don't be there.
The killer clown, John Wayne Gacy Jr., sentenced to death for the murder of 33 boys and young men.
You know what his clown name was?
What murder?
no, this was the... You know
what I gotta do now? I have to get the soundboard up. I can keep doing it myself if I want to. Well, I'm gonna get the soundboard.
Is there a way? Would we get? Well, we're not making any money off this right now. But would it be a problem to upload this if we took that clip?
No, absolutely not.
You're just saying that.
No.
You just said that.
Moving on.
Do you know? Wait.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Do you know what John Wayne Gacy's clown name was?
I feel like I just heard this the other day, and I don't know why. It was. It's not one of the. It's not Bozo.
It's close. It's got 4 letters.
No. It's not 4 letters.
Yeah. You know what letters are?
What are letters? Yeah. I give up.
Pogo.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I know. One of my least favorite serial killers. I didn't like John Wayne Gacy. Oh, I have a favorite.
Okay.
I'm white.
This is evident. U.S. defeats. Oh, we did that already. Cool.
Rubik's Cube.
Rubik's Cube. Yeah, that happened. We got the Rubik's Cube, 1980.
All right, is that it?
Yeah, the United States presidential election. Ronald Reagan defeated the incoming president Jimmy Carter and is elected 40th president of the United States.
Yeah, that did us well.
That happened in 1980. Yeah,
that
was
did us
great.
well. Guy fucking brought on the drug war that wasn't a war. Fucked this whole country up.
1980s, often remembered for its materialism and consumerism, also saw the rise of the yuppies. An explosion of blockbuster movies and blah, 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 blah. MTV came out in 1980.
Raging Bull.
Also. Yeah.
1980. This film was a disaster at the box office, The Shining. Did not make any money.
The Unabomber.
Teddy K.
Injures United Airlines President Percy Wood in Lake Forest, Illinois, June 20th.
Don't be there. Teddy K. Manifesto. I'm white.
The biggest movie of 1980 was what?
Ordinary People?
No.
It wasn't Ordinary... Well, it won all the awards. It wasn't Raging Bull.
Ordinary People was number 10.
So it has to be a blockbuster then.
Raging Bull was number 20.
That's crazy. That's so crazy to me. It has to be a blockbuster. Number 1.
1980.
E.T.?
Was that 1980? It
was either 80 or 81.
I don't even see E.T. on the list, so no.
1980. Star Wars?
Yep. 1980, Star
Empire
Wars
Strikes
Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Number 2 was 9 to 5. Not familiar.
Not a great movie.
Number 3, Stir Crazy.
Not a great movie.
Number 4, I feel like you can guess it.
The Shining?
No. Hell no. The Shining is number 12.
Okay, number 4, I can guess it.
Yep. You brought up this movie every time I see you almost.
Oh, I just said Raging Bull. It's not that. 1980? It's not Blackula.
No.
Okay,
You want a clue?
Yeah.
Jew.
Fiddler on the Roof?
No, not Fiddler on the Roof.
1980, Jew.
1980, Jew.
1980, Jew. Who's in it?
I think that might give it away, but let's see here.
Oh my God, this is the worst podcast we've ever done.
No, it's not. Come on, we've done way worse.
Yeah, everybody said your taxi driver was awful.
I don't give a fuck. They can eat a dick. That's how I feel.
2 of them do.
Good for them. Happy for them. Kramer versus Kramer was number 4.
That movie sucks.
Okay.
That movie fucking sucks. Can you imagine these movies being higher than Raging Bull and The Shining? That's crazy. That's crazy.
Followed by number 5, Any Which Way You Can. Number 6, Private Benjamin. Number 7, Coal Miner's Daughter. Number 8, Smokey and the Bandit 2.
Wow.
Number 9, The Blues Brothers.
America is just a stupid shithole since 1980.
The Blues Brothers was cool.
I don't like the Blues Brothers.
Number 10, Ordinary People.
Terrible.
Number
Boring.
11, Popeye. So we had that lady. She had a really good experience and then a really bad experience that year.
I wonder what came first, shooting-wise.
Right.
Because
well, it says Popeye came out. Says Popeye came out December 12th. That doesn't really matter.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, because that can get moved around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And then The Shining was number 12, followed by Cheech and Chong's next movie, and number 14, Caddyshack, and number 15, Friday the 13th, 16, Brubaker, 17, The Jazz Singer, 18,
Jazz
Flash
Singer's
Gordon.
very good.
Yeah, Flash Gordon at 18, Bronco Billy at 19, Raging Bull at 20.
That's fucking insane.
Xanadu at 21, American Gigolo 22, My Bodyguard 23.
Xanadu.
Xanadu, yeah. Fame at 24. Altered States at 25.
Altered
Honeysuckle
State's a good
Rose,
movie.
26. 27, Hero at Large. 28, The Long Riders. 29, The Island. 30, The Nude Bomb. 31, Oh God, Book 2. I don't know what that
George
is.
Burns.
32, The Competition. 33, Holy Moses. 34, The Last Married Couple in America. 35, First Family. 36, The Fiendish Plot of Dr. Fu Manchu. That
Terrible.
seems racist.
Yeah, it was very
37,
racist.
37, Stardust Memories. 38, Somewhere in Time. 39, The Formula. 40,
Formula's good.
Battle Creek Brawl. 41, The Awakening. 42, Foxes. 43, Where the Buffalo Roam.
Where the Buffalo Roam is the first incantation of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Bill Murray played Hunter S. Thompson, and Peter Boyle played Dr. Gonzo.
I'm interested in that. We could do that one.
Okay. All right.
Does it suck? It seems like that's a good formula.
So bad.
So bad that it's good, or just
No.
44, The Gong Show Movie. 45,
Wow.
Motel.
I would do that.
Hell.
The Gong Show movie? I didn't even know that existed.
I don't know what that is.
The Gong
we should
Show?
do a month of movies that we didn't know existed.
All right. Let's just start with any Tyler Perry movie.
Wow. 46, Little Miss Marker. 47, Oh Heavenly Dog. 48. How long is this list?
About a dog.
It goes to 68.
It's too many. Stop at 50.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough. The 48, Divine Madness. 49, In God We Trust, or Give Me That Primetime Religion.
Wow.
Number 50, He Knows You're Alone.
Okay.
We
spent 6 minutes and 45 seconds doing that, I hope you know. And
51,
no one...
Roadie. 52,
right,
Gloria.
right.
53. 53 was Jaws 2, 1980 re-release.
Awful.
Everything else after that I've never heard of. So
Okay. All right, so we'll get to the film now. This is Stanley Kubrick. Nicholson, Shelley Duvall, Danny Lloyd is Danny Torrance, Scotsman Crothers is Dick Halloran, Philip Stone is Delbert Grady, Joe Turkel as Lloyd, the bartender. So the film. The opening tracking shot took 3 days to shoot and nearly a week to set up. Just the driving shot. The opening driving scene is the Torrance family moving further away from the civilized world. I don't know if you noticed this, Don, but there is red in almost every scene in this film, starting with the lens flare. There's red in every scene.
Okay.
The opening credit score is Native American chanting, which leads people to believe this hotel is on Native burial grounds. There is a distinct Native American theme throughout the hotel as well. Wendy is reading The Catcher in the Rye about a loner who is bullied and feels inadequate like her son.
Mm-hmm.
We meet Tony, Danny's imaginary friend. I don't know if you noticed this too. The green pattern on Nicholson's tie is the maze.
No, didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, man.
Weird.
Yeah. Laying out the isolation and the ruggedness of the hotel. Lets Jack know about the murders in the hotel, about Grady and his daughters. And the way Nicholson reacts to that is so fucking great. Look, there are moments where this is peak Nicholson. This film has some real peak Nicholson moments. Like people talk about peak Pacino, Scent of a Woman. This is real peak heavy eyeballs Nicholson. Just some really great stuff. Kubrick sort of makes fun of the film in itself when Jack says she's a confirmed ghost story and horror film addict. I think that was also a little shot at Stephen King, if I do say so. Tony immediately knows that Jack got the job, the imaginary friend. Danny sees the future and the blood pouring out of the elevator.
I called him the ghost finger. Ghost. Finger ghost.
A wild imagination you have. Danny sees the blood pouring out. Tony the Finger!
That took me 33 minutes.
I believe it did. And the twins.
and a list of 69 other choices.
If only it took you 33 minutes to eat a sandwich instead of the 3 that I watched. Same with me. Danny fell and hit his head from The Shining. He's a little boy that lives in my mouth. What an interesting line. Yeah, interesting line.
I think that would probably be a rewrite if it was current times.
I don't think so. The doctor clearly thinks the kid has some mental disorientation, for sure.
Yeah, you think he's retarded.
I don't know if we can say that. Shelley Duvall out here wearing Timberlands.
That was a terrible doctor. I wrote that down.
Yeah, very bad.
Like, what an awful doctor.
Yeah, she's just staring at him.
She said nothing physically wrong with him, but he does have a finger ghost, so might want to get that checked out. That's great.
Shelley Duvall out here wearing Timberlands with a house dress. I love it. Shelley Duvall confides that Jack beat the fuck out of this kid to the doctor. Well, he just grabbed him. It's just fucking grabbed him.
That doctor said, okay. So, like I said, weird kid. I'm out of here.
But the doctor's face when Wendy says what she says was like,
yeah.
You're telling me this now.
I've heard this now.
I have to hear this. And the air is clearly different up there. Like the air, what it does to people is clearly different up there. By the hotel.
Did you bring up the go and backtrack a little bit?
Go ahead.
When I had put finger puppet friends cool. I said, hey, it's olive oil. when she came on the screen, it's olive oil. But also, Jack Nicholson has never not looked terrifying and menacing to me. He's everything he's ever been in. He just makes me uncomfortable. He has an uncomfortable face. He's never been in a movie that I can recall where he's just a good guy.
Oh, no, that's not
always
true.
Gray area shit. He always does gray area shit. Something that has a little bit of menace to it. It's never just regular guy.
I'm trying to think.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Not a criminal.
He's a criminal, but he's not a bad guy necessarily.
He's not a bad guy, but he's unhinged.
Yeah. Last Detail, he's sort of unhinged in that.
He's always unhinged, man. It's never just a regular dude.
5 Easy Pieces, he's unhinged in that.
Like Michael Keaton also has one of those unhinged faces, but he's played regular everyday man roles too. But you know what I'm saying? Jack Nicholson, I don't think his face is capable of doing regular dude shit.
I guess the only one, I mean,
it's the eyebrows and the grin. It's too evil looking.
The only one that I would say, and I'm ashamed to say I saw this movie, was The Bucket List with him and Morgan Freeman.
I enjoyed that. That was funny. It was fun. It was 2 old people doing old people shit, whatever.
So I don't think he was unhinged in that.
Nah, but by then now you're a crotchety old man. He's in a different.
Well, he was a crotchety old man and as good as it gets, and he was definitely unhinged in that.
Yeah. So The Departed, Unhinged.
Well, that's different. Then
like you said before, that the kid knew that he was getting the job before the interview was even over. The guy says, hey, there was a family that got murdered here, by the way, just so you should know. He said, they'll love it. Fuck them.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fuck them.
Yeah.
And he goes, what murder? Two.
When they're driving up there, it's all together. Jack hates these fucking people. He hates his family. His responses to Danny and the way he tells the story about the Donner Party is like, I am going to drive this fucking car off this fucking mountain right the fuck now if you don't shut the fuck up.
He was an awful person, man.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable for me. I don't think because, you see those type of things portrayed on film or on TV screens of abuse.
There's some redeeming quality.
Husbands. They usually try to throw something to try to humanize it. There's nothing to humanize this guy here. It is just awful from the start.
Nope.
From the start, it's just like, my God.
And Jack is also mocking television when, Danny says, "Oh, I saw it on television." You go, "You hear that? You saw it on television." You know? And Kubrick hated television, hated the
Yeah.
medium of television, didn't have a television in his house, refused to let his kids watch television, hated television. And there's something very interesting showing more of his selfishness. When Danny's like, "I'm hungry, I want to eat something," the very next shot, second shot, is Jack eating, not Danny,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was very funny. This is so the difference in the shot of the hotel, the first when Jack goes up by himself, it looks warm and inviting from the aerial. The straight on shot of the exterior of the hotel when they all arrive, boy, does it look different. It is foreboding as fuck. There's no sunlight hitting the hotel. There's like one corner where it might be hitting, but the hotel is entrenched in darkness. Yep. This is our Colorado lounge, and this is where the crescendo of the film is going to happen. And this guy says, all the best people have stayed here, which I find a funny line. Every wing is different, which just adds to the madness of the hotel. The color of every area is different. There's no sameness, so you can't get used to it, which I thought was a great little, because that's not the way the Stanley was. They painted it, and Kubrick said, "Just paint." Kubrick said he wanted to make sure nothing was familiar to you at all throughout this film.
You never knew exactly where you were.
Right. Which I thought was great. Jack looks at the girls' asses immediately, just like he's Jack Nicholson. I don't even know if that's in, like, if Kubrick, I'm sure Kubrick, because Kubrick controlled everything. I'm sure Kubrick said, "Give him a look." But he took a long look as his wife and kid are walking into the room at these girls' asses. Jack's face drops when the manager's like, "There's no booze here." Jack's face is like, "What am I gonna do?
Oh no!
What am I gonna do?"
So then, is that something that we can infer that he never actually got off the wagon? He just cooled it down, maybe.
No, I think he got. Yeah, it could be one. Because
it could be, you could read that as Olive Oil lied to the doctor.
All right, you got to call a Shelley Duvall, or you got to call a Wendy. I can't have it be called Olive Oil throughout this fucking review.
Olive Oil.
Oh, God. No, I think he got off it, or he was on the wagon, as it were. I think 5 months is a very long time for a drunk to be on the wagon, because we'll get to the part where he has his first drink in a little bit, and the face he makes when he has his first drink. Dick and Danny finally communicate in The Shining, because he knows that his name is Doc before anybody. Asks him if he wants some ice cream. And then by 5 o'clock, you'll never know anyone was here, just like a ghost ship. Great line.
Prior to that ice cream thing, so the kid happened to be an expert on cannibalism. That was weird. You remember that conversation he had? I think it was with Jack Nicholson. They were talking about what happened to the family. Party.
I mentioned you said that.
Oh, sorry. Fell asleep. He stinks at darts. The kid is terrible at darts. Did you see that?
Yeah, kid was not good at darts.
Not good.
Not good.
Not good.
This is supposed to be our big review, and it's going poorly.
But this hotel sucks, right? This hotel kind of sucks.
That should be like what everyone says. This hotel's weird, right? There's something going on here. You guys think this place is weird? I think it's a little weird.
Did anybody else's nuts just get 5 degrees cooler just immediately when we walked in here?
Did anybody see the wall of blood? Was that? I went to drain the old lizard, and there's blood coming out of the walls there.
So the kid went to get the ice cream. So we're doing the magical Negro trope. Cool. Okay.
Is that a trope?
Is that a truck? Yes, absolutely. Vagabants. What's the one with the golf thing?
That a better name.
That's a bag.
Vagabants is better
What's
than
the name of it?
Bagger Vance.
It's a
Vagabants is better.
little switcheroo.
Yeah,
Okay.
The Green Mile, I guess, which is also another Stephen
Green
King
Mile,
novel.
Magical Negro. Yeah, it's a trope that's been going from before.
Which, by the way,
pretty far back.
if you've not seen the memes now about Taco Bell and the butthole and him saying, "I can't take it, boss," it's very funny. If you eat Taco Bell 4 times a week, I'm tired, boss. It's funny. It's very funny. It's very good.
Okay.
Did you like The Green Mile? Didn't like it.
I saw it when I was pretty young.
And we can't
I
review
haven't
it.
seen it since.
We can't review it.
Why?
1999.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah,
what a
can't
shame.
review it.
Yeah. Tony the Terrible Finger. Is The Shining like being an X-Men? Because apparently, like, what's the guy's name? The black guy?
Scotsman Crothers. Dick Halloran, by the way, is a weird innuendo name. Dick Halloran. Pretty good.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of us. There's a whole bunch of shiny people. We're all shining.
Yeah, his grandmother
was a shiner.
Shiner. I also don't know if you know, and I don't want to be racist here.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Shine. The word
and
shine.
Here comes the bitch.
It's a derogatory term for black people. Did you know that? Did you know shine?
I don't think I had that on my list.
That's a derogatory term for black people. Cops used to say it a lot.
You just knew that?
No. Well, I grew up in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Don, with a lot of cops.
Shine.
Yeah.
So what would they call it? To just call him a shine or a shiner? I don't get it.
Shine. Yeah, shines.
I'm gonna look that up.
Smoke was another one too. Did you know that? Smoke?
Derogatory.
Ooh. I don't want to. There's no Q in that.
Huh. A foolish prank. Yeah, I never heard that one. That's news to me.
Yeah.
It says a contemptuous term used to refer to a black person.
Mm-hmm. Smoke as well.
I mean, I can get that. I can kind of put those two and two together at least. You know what I'm saying? Like black smoke or some shit like that. I can see how it would get there. Shine. I don't get it. But,
I don't understand it either. But cops. Where were we?
Yeah. So he just found out he's an X-Men now.
Yeah. Dick and Danny talk about how there are others. Some places.
Oh, did you see the knives over the kid's head in the kitchen scene? There was just a set of knives just directly over the kid's head.
Well, that's the knife that she takes later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I saw that as some cool foreshadowing. Is this thing on? I saw that.
No. Yeah, you could. It works.
It does. I figured it out.
You did. I watch films.
Hey, that's a thing.
Yeah. Some places are like people. Some shine and some don't. Great line. Because he asks him, "Do you like this hotel? Is there something wrong with this hotel?" And Dick Halloran knows. This hotel is a little problem in this hotel.
Yeah, he tries to let the kid know that everything's all right or convince him. And then he's like, all right, cool. So about room 237. He said, whoa, motherfucker. Let me tell you something right now. Don't play with me. I'll kick your ass. Now.
Don't go in that room.
I will put you.
Is that where Tom Hardy got it for Capone? Only living.
Yeah, so room 237. Sick big wheel, by the way. I love the scenes where he's riding the big wheel around. The sound engineering was great.
the sound.
Floor, carpet, floor, carpet, floor, carpet.
And
Hard left
that's
turn.
the only time that it's loud like that. Because then it peters itself out. And I wrote, the sound of that big wheeler throughout the hotel is jarring every time I watch this film. Effective. Nobody wakes up like Jack Nicholson. Nobody wakes up like Jack Nicholson. When he gets up, does that whole thing with his tongue, looks in the mirror. I love it. I love it. He dips his bacon in the egg. Oh, Jack Nicholson, the greatest. Got to put him... He is not mentioned enough as a Mount Rushmore guy.
I think he chilled out a lot earlier than his contemporaries of like Al Pacino and Robert
that's
De Niro.
why he should be a Mount Rushmore guy.
Yeah,
because if
he
watched,
chilled out way earlier than.
You mean he didn't want to make a movie like 88 Minutes or The Hangman or any of that?
Or Insomnia.
Oh, Insomnia was great. What are you talking about?
I don't think it would have been a good Jack Nicholson film though.
No. But Insomnia was great. That was a great film. And I hate Christopher Nolan generally. But that's a great film.
All right. That's what I'm saying. I have issues with Christopher Nolan's directorial choices.
Well, I just think so badly he wants to be Stanley Kubrick, and he's not.
I get that. Yeah, I can see that actually.
So there's a great documentary that I think I mentioned to you off air a couple weeks ago called Room 237, where there are a ton of theories I didn't want to rehash. Because there are so many theories about this film. I mean, insane theories. I didn't want to rehash it, and I didn't tell you to watch it, because you would have just thought the same thing I did with like all these theories. You go down a real rabbit hole with that shit. You know, it's so hard to understand if Jack Nicholson is an asshole, sarcastic, deluded, or angry. What is he? Is he all of it?
All of them. It's all of them. I said, oh, goody, another unhinged white man movie. Cool.
You've seen it.
Yeah, but I thought there was more nuance. I haven't seen it in such a long time. I thought there was more nuance to the character. There's really not. He's just a piece of shit.
I think it depends. I think it depends.
It's like you said earlier, though. There's no redeeming qualities to this person whatsoever. I think even the dude that hired him knows he's a piece of shit. Because he's like, it's just like in the Taxi movie with a guy when Robert De Niro goes to go get a job.
The Taxi movie.
The Taxi Driver movie. It's just like the Taxi movie when Robert De Niro goes to the
Queen
guy,
Latifah and
like,
Jimmy Fallon.
He's like, I need a job. He's like, you're not a wise ass, are you?
Yeah, that's the only requirement.
So except in this movie, it's, hey, just, do whatever you want. Just don't murder your family. Do me a favor. Just don't murder your family. Well, please. You look like you murder your family. You look like, you know why I'm telling you this, because you're gonna murder your family. I know you are.
You could
but
also,
I don't have anybody else.
You could also look at it as the guy who runs the hotel, who's, we'll talk about later, Jack Nicholson, we'll talk about that later. He is the conduit between, I mean, this is another theory. He's a conduit between heaven and hell. Miserable bastard.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't care.
So if you notice, he's bouncing the ball off the Native American part of the wall and not the white part of the wall. You notice that?
Yeah, I did see that. I was like, weird.
That's a choice. The triangles you're supposed to ring in the maze if you are lost are red. He painted them all, Kubrick. Because you notice there are triangles throughout the maze. That's how you would let people know that you're lost in the maze. They would hear the triangle and they'd come get you. Like if you ever go to like a pumpkin patch or a corn maze or something like that. I don't either. Linda told me about this. I just think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. You hold up a flag and you're supposed to be, help me, help me. My Ugg boots can't go any further.
I'm lost in shrubbery.
I'm pumpkin spice stranded. Jack overlooking the maze is awesome. And we get this great overhead superimposed shot of Wendy and Danny walking through the maze.
Yeah.
Which is really beautiful. And I don't know what Wendy's thing is where they get to the middle of this maze and she's like, "This is really beautiful, isn't it, hun?" I'm just like, "What the benches? What's beautiful about the middle of this fucking maze? I don't get it."
You know what I found funny was I said, so the finger ghost is telling him what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. The finger ghost is telling the kid, hey, don't worry about it. No big deal. You'll be fine.
Yeah, essentially. I mean,
He's
because
being comforted by the finger ghost.
but also, I think Tony thinks Danny can handle it at this point. Because then when he can't handle it anymore, Tony takes over. Danny's first encounter with room 237. And now Jack has completely changed. When he looks at Wendy and goes, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
I wrote that too, yeah. Are you out of your fucking mind?
That's the complete change.
Was it a change? Because it didn't seem like it was unfamiliar to her. It seemed more like a regression.
Yeah, but it's a regression that we don't know about, so it's a change.
I think it's alluded to in that first scene where she's saying, he, just pulled his arm a little. I think it's a regression.
Yeah.
To his abusive, abusive past.
But he never stops being abusive. Because in the car...
He's on a different spectrum, though. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's tried to probably, pat it down for so long. Yeah.
Nicholson said that his outbursts while he was writing in the film are taken from his actual dealings with his exes and Angelica Houston, and at the time he mentioned having gone to a dark place that he regretted. Nicholson would, because, he wrote films and wrote, this is how he would act to people. So?
I believe it.
Yeah. Nicholson tight shot staring.
But also sometimes people like that, you know what it is? Not to get too deep or nothing like that, but I grew up in an abusive household, right? Abusive father, stuff like that. This is now woke alert.
Oh yeah, pussy.
I always found that people like that were usually narcissists, right? So, like, for somebody like Jack Nicholson to openly, to be an actor, you have to have some spectrum of narcissism.
Oh yeah,
but to have that level of narcissism where you could feel comfortable saying I was an abusive person verbally, and that's why I pulled my inspiration from myself. Like, I think maybe he was putting on a little bit to just give a cool, I'm a deep ass actor story. At least I would hope.
Well,
I don't think it's far fetched that somebody.
Well, I think he is a deep ass actor,
an eccentric asshole, and abusive. But what I'm saying is, most abusers don't admit to their abuse.
Well, here's something for you. I'm going to admit to some abuse right now. When I came off stage, when I used to come off stage, I used to have a pounding migraine headache. Pounding.
Yeah.
And I was so physically depleted from whatever I was doing. I would come off and I would sit by myself for 30 or 40 minutes, not talk to anyone. And it would usually be after the show. Like if somebody came to see me after the show, or my parents or exes or whoever I was dating at the time, whatever. I was not a nice person. I was just not a nice person.
That's usually before the show.
No, I was always nervous before the show. So I was in my own head and I was going through my character stuff and I was going through the work and thinking, trying to maintain the character. When I came off, and I know that this is an old actor trope, it feels like you're trying to rid yourself of the character you're playing.
Yeah.
And I would just have bad times until, and this is another thing, until I had the first sip of booze, I would feel better. But I wasn't drinking every night. I would just have 2 beers and leave. I wouldn't get drunk, but it's like the first sip made you feel better. But I was just a large-scale prick when I used to come off stage. And I admit that 100%. And I hated it. And I knew I was being a prick, but I couldn't stop it.
Mm.
It was very weird. I never hated it. Hated it. I almost fucking got into it with a cab driver one time after I came off stage. Like, I was ready to fuck this dude up. It was bad. Not a fan of it. Not condoning it. Not glorifying it. Just telling you that's what happened. So, Nicholson tight shot, menacingly, chef's kiss. He's just doing this, looking into the camera.
Yeah.
But you can see how that was totally taken from Nosferatu and even Freaks. Wendy just reaching out to someone is showing her desperation to talk to anyone. Because when she goes over to the radio,
yeah.
It looks like a blizzard up here. Help me. You know, like, it's just like, I know, yeah, because maybe this is that theory. She knows what Jack is coming.
Something's coming. Yeah, something's coming.
Yeah. Danny sees the twins again. Come play with us, Danny, forever and ever and ever. And the shot of them on the floor covered in blood, all axed up. Now we're here. This is the first time we're really here with it. Yeah. Like, the horror is here. And then, it goes from Saturday to Monday, and I wrote, hell of a weekend. I haven't had that much. I haven't had that time in a long time, that type of eventful weekend. Danny and Jack have a tense little scene where Jack tells him that he loves him and he wants to stay here forever and ever. And Jack also sounds drunk, if you notice, but he's not. Danny asks if he'd ever heard him. He's totally sleep deprived. Yeah. He's bordering. He's walking that fine line, and Danny asks if he'd ever heard him, and then he immediately goes to, "Who told you that? Your mother?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, Dad." Very robotic because he knows what's coming too.
Yeah.
Danny goes into room 237 just as Jack dreams he kills Wendy and Danny with an axe. Which, Nicholson there, great. Absolutely. Yeah. The way he's dreaming it and the way he falls and all that, perfect.
Yeah, he seems genuinely horrified at the dream he just had.
Yes. Danny comes back all beat up and scratched. And Wendy,
I think that's probably the only actual humane part of this character then throughout the whole movie is when he wakes up from the dream and seems genuinely horrified that he would kill his own family.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy that because I can't think of another one.
I think that's probably it. Yeah, that was probably it. That was it.
I can't think of another one. Jack also sounds drunk, and then beat up and scratched. Wendy believes
was that the only time they touched?
No.
Him and his wife? Oh, no, he put his arm behind her waist at some point when they were walking down the hall.
At the very beginning.
Like guiding her, though. But this is like the first time there was like a...
Embrace,
loving, caring embrace.
Wendy believes that Jack did this even though she clearly saw him not do it. Which is a part that really always...
Well, yes.
How could he have done it?
Because... How could she don't know where he was at before she got in that room. She just got there. He could have got there 2 minutes before her. This place is huge. That kid has had no supervision. You know what I'm saying? That kid's just rolling around
the hotel.
Every floor in the hotel. Like,
yeah,
it's not. And obviously, like we said, I think it's a story of regression, that he is regressing to his old ways, and it's happened already before. So why wouldn't she believe that it's happening again?
Okay.
And even when he's shaking his head no, it's not a look of confusion as to why would you even accuse me. It's a look of like, oh no, it really wasn't me this time. It was like one of those type of looks. Like, please believe me. But he was still stuck in that dreamscape from just waking up, I think also.
I'll buy that.
I don't even know if he was fully into the reality at this point.
Yeah, maybe because that's when he sleeps, he dreams of murdering them, so he doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
A good portion of this score would be recreated by Johnny Greenwood for PTA's There Will Be Blood. Did you notice that? There Will Be Blood's score, which Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead did. It's this. It's this exact same score. Nicholson walking down the hallway to the bar, and it says the unwinding hours on the sign. I love that. I love it. I give my goddamn soul for just a glass of beer. Here's Lloyd. Lloyd's here. Lloyd's dead. They shot the scene 40 times. That's what I wrote. White man's burden could refer to the alcohol, could also refer to the Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
The whole color of the scene changed after Jack drank. If you noticed,
what you said, white man's burden?
Yeah, like, you know how liquor is called the white man's burden, and it could be, since we're in this hotel that is on a native burial ground in Colorado, and the Trail of Tears passed directly through here. This could be the alcohol he's referring to, or it could be the Trail of Tears.
That's a different historical thing. Yeah, it's a poem also.
Yes.
By Kipling about the Philippine American War and the colonial control of the Filipino people in their country. But it's been used a bunch. It's about
genocide,
conquering non-white races. As white people's selfless moral duty. They think it's their moral duty to conquer these non-white races. So,
just like I conquer this podcast every week. Did it freeze?
Nope.
No, still here. I say the whole scene changed after Jack had his first drink. Did you notice that? The color, it like got smoky, like sepia almost. Very interesting, like a little smoky film. 1.5 drinks and he's just peak Nicholson. He's just right. He's and grabbed him and one little foot-pound of per second. It does that whole so great. That Nicholson moment is so great. Dick is in the warm room, surrounded by titties, watching the news, and then he gets in tune with Danny, and he's got to go to Colorado. Yeah, right.
Why were
there so many titties?
It was only 2, and there was pretty cool posters.
I like
them. But like, why was that a thing? Like, why was the Afrocentric, titty lady posters like part of this guy's character? What was that supposed to convey?
Horny.
It was weird, man.
Well, I mean, I also, if you want to look at it as a Miami-centric place too, it's warm.
Is that where he was?
Yeah, he's in Miami. Yeah.
Okay.
In Florida.
So he got on a plane at some point.
Did you miss him on the plane?
I think I did. I watched it late last night.
When he asked her, what time are we getting into Colorado?
Yeah, I think I fell asleep on that part. You're right.
It's a podcast time.
Hey, I've been doing pretty good up until now.
I seek perfection. Where were we? Danny realizes Jack sees a beautiful woman in the shower, naked, makes out with her, and she's fucking dead. Scabby, decomposing. And I wrote, pretty serious little bush she had going on there.
He also saw
serious little bush.
Did we get to the part? Yeah, Magic Negro got a psychic alert. Okay, he got that. Danny's dead almost immediately.
No, he's not. Wait a minute. We didn't relax.
So I skipped a lot of parts.
Okay, I fell asleep for quite a while. You didn't see Jack Nicholson with the woman in the shower?
I did see that part.
So then why are we skipping that?
I don't know.
I just mentioned it.
Okay, keep going.
We're gonna have to reshoot this.
I got my notes out of order.
This might be a short one that I do by myself. Jack projects onto her after she suggests they leave the hotel and take Danny for help. Onto Wendy. But I mean, the naked lady in the shower, is that a guest? Is that someone that died there? Is that, you could also view that as I mean, this is a long stretch, which room 237 went into, which I said I wouldn't do. That could be a member of the Donner Party.
Mm-hmm.
It's great talking to you.
Yeah.
Jack also looks right into the camera as he leaves the room, which I thought was so cool. Because that must have been like take 2,000. And Jack's just like, motherfucker, I'm going to look right into your camera. Which I thought was great. Here's the scene. Meeting Grady. Grady spills advocat on Jack. Do you know what advocat is? Have you ever drank advocat?
No.
So it's like eggnog. It's like an egg-based liqueur from the Netherlands. And it's really only available in America during Christmas time.
Like eggnog, okay.
It's like a very heavy egg syrup, sugary drink. I've only had it once, and it was not good. I was not a fan. What's going on? What's going on here?
Mike fell, sorry.
Yeah, I can see we really have to do only one at a time because you are on fumes. You are running on fumes. I'm
a baby.
You're a heavy backpack, my friend. A heavy ass backpack.
I was doing all right, man.
Yeah, I know you were. The song here can be heard in the end credits as well. Jack wipes his hand on Grady's back, which was totally improvised. Jack did that on purpose. He got some of the avocado off him onto Grady's back. Then Jack realizes who he's talking to. The bathroom is one of the most beautifully lit scenes in film history. It is the red bathroom with all those mirrors. So it looks like there's like 8 of them. It's really beautiful. You've always been the kid.
Definitely fell asleep through the scene. No recollection.
Well, you fell asleep during the racism. You've always been the caretaker. I've always been here. Because he says, you've always been the caretaker here, sir. And Grady goes, I know. I've always been here. So is this a portal to hell? Is this hell? The devil is the one you know. And now that you're not going to know about this, Grady says that he's trying to bring your son is trying to bring an outside party into the situation. And Jack says, who? And Grady says the N-word. And then Jack says the N-word. And then Grady says an N-word cook. You don't remember that?
Yeah. It would have been in my notes.
Oh boy, this is bad.
And harkening back also to the last movie we did, Jacob's Ladder, I forgot to do my slur count. They said gook a couple of times. So
4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It really wasn't heavy on the slurs, that movie.
Not super heavy, no. And now we're at the
3
2 count for this movie.
3.
They said another nigga?
3.
How many niggas?
Jack says who, Grady says the N-word, Jack says the N-word back to him, and then Grady says N-word cook.
Okay, 3. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. Grady I count my racism. Grady lets Jack know about The Shining. Grady also says, buddy, you got to kill these motherfuckers. Sorry. It's time. Because he says, my wife and daughters didn't like the Overlook Hotel, that his daughters tried to burn it down, and then he corrected them.
They're dead.
Wendy lays out what she's going to say to Jack, what she's not going to say to Jack. She's like telling him, honey, we have to leave. We have to do this. It goes out, Danny, get to the hospital. And she's not going to say any of that. And then Danny gives you the red rum here. You finally got the red rum.
So that part.
Oh, you woke up, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. Jack undoes.
Okay, so did we do the part where a furry is giving head to a pianist? Did that happen already?
It has not happened yet.
Man, I missed a lot. Okay, go ahead. My notes are fucked.
They're bad. Like this episode, which is supposed to be a premiere episode for us, The Shining. There's so much. Jack undoes the radio at this point, takes all the batteries out of everything. Dick is flying to Boulder now. He's on the plane, Don. He's on it.
He's on a plane.
Wendy sees the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Are you awake for this part?
No, I just know it, but like I remember that part. I remember seeing that part.
Chases him with the bat.
This is like my 5th or 6th viewing of the film. It's not a film I'm unfamiliar with.
Knocks him down the stairs. Nicholson's Wendy's here are the great Wendy doing that whole tongue thing. And more Pete Nicholson. I like when Nicholson really says here, Wendy, darling, light of my life. He does that whole thing. He goes, you didn't let me finish. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains in. I'm gonna bash them right the fuck in. It's so like he's like a raving clown, like an opera. It's so operatic, this scene.
Like the Joker, maybe,
or Pagliacci, which it's based off of.
Mm-hmm.
Uncultured swine. Drags Jack to the food cellar in the pantry. And he goes, let me out of here and I'll forget the whole goddamn thing ever happened. Jack is saying this to Wendy after he just said he was going to beat her fucking brains in. Let me out of here and I'll forget the whole thing ever happened. And the little flick that he does on the pantry door when he says, go check it out. Check it out. Nicholson. The great, it's, when this movie came out, it was nominated for Worst Film, Worst Director, and Worst Actress at the Razzies. And after they found out what Shelley Duvall went through, they rescinded that like it matters. Like, oh, okay, now my experience is better because I'm not the worst. Her going out into the snow, into the vastness of the wilderness and seeing the snowcat disabled. But this is also, no, not yet. Grady lets him out and lets him know that this is his final chance. He lets him know that I and the others have come to believe that your heart isn't in this. Who are the others? The ghosts? The Native Americans? Who are the others? This is hell. We're clearly in hell, right?
Yeah, I would say that's pretty obvious at this point.
Is it each layer of hell?
Did we see? Did they show any Native American ghosts or characters in this movie at all?
No.
Yeah.
We see the red rum.
Was there more Native American undertones in the book?
Yeah.
Characters and stuff like that in the book?
No, not characters, but they were excavated. The bodies were excavated in the book. But I mean, the whole hotel is Native American themed. The whole thing.
So is the idea supposed to be on some Pet Cemetery thing where the hotel is cursed because it's on native land? Is that the idea?
I think so. The book the book does that. The book also does the, sleep deprivation thing, the ghost thing, all that. You already the caretaker here thing. We see that red rum is now murder reflected in the mirror. Jack's lines here, Wendy, I'm home, and here's Johnny, were both improvised by Nicholson. Yep. Kubrick didn't want to use the latter because he wasn't familiar with Johnny Carson. And Nicholson begged him.
No TV.
Right. And Nicholson begged him, you have to leave this in here. And it became the poster for the movie. Dick shows up, dies.
Yeah.
When he kills Dick, the voices of the people trapped in there or the Native Americans are chanting, if you notice. I don't know if you were awake or you put your little PJs on, tuck yourself in the bed. Make that pastrami and cream cheese to go.
Double, please. Supersize it.
Extra meat. Bear giving a guy a blowjob. Here we are, Don.
Furry giving head to a penis.
Which I can't. No one can explain it. This
It
is
just tells you that furries have been around much longer than everybody thought. That's a kink, you know.
I know what a
up.
furry is, Don. I know what a furry is, Don. I know what it is. I am one. No.
Clearly.
Well, I'm furry, but no one's been able to explain this. Is it nature taking over man?
Fucking bar, something
Could
bizarre.
be.
Just, you know.
But it could also be nature taking over man. The maze. So the maze was styrofoam and paper that was finely ground. Great for the environment, there, Kubrick. There wasn't snow.
Yeah,
and also something.
That's a lot.
Something yes, a ton of it, and something that I read was the actors were so hot in that maze that when they would come off, they would pour ice water on themselves and take off every article of clothing because Nicholson said it was like 130 degrees doing that, chasing shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Wendy sees Dick and the guy with his head split open with his own blood in his glass. Great party, isn't it? That's cool. It's his own blood in his glass. That's awesome. Wendy sees all the skeletons, which is the only part of the film I never really found necessary. Honestly, it takes away from it.
Yeah, that kind of made it seem like some haunted mansion shit now.
Hokey shit, yeah.
Like we already did all of this other stuff. Why did we need that?
Yeah. Danny uses the doubling back and faking out with footprints technique. All the blood.
I said,
clever
is this kid a genius? Is the finger ghost a genius for hiding the tracks?
It could, yeah. You know what?
Is that the part where you're thinking like? Because I know you said something earlier where you said where the finger takes over. Is this the part where you're saying the finger took over?
No. Yeah. It could be. It could be Tony the whole time because Danny doesn't really talk at this point, except to say "mommy" when Wendy can't fit through the window.
Mm-hmm.
All the blood coming from the elevator with the chanting had me believing it's the gates of hell opening.
Mm-hmm.
Danny and Wendy escape in the snowplow. Jack frozen in the snow, dead. Long shot through the hotel, which Scorsese took for Goodfellas. But Scorsese sort of did it first with Taxi Driver and Mean Streets.
Mm-hmm.
A long shot through the hotel to the Gold Room to show a photo that reads July 4th ball, 1921, with a very bad superimposed Jack Nicholson head.
Not good.
It was not a good. You got to do better than that. And I understand.
So I said, okay, Popsicle Jack. I said, okay, so what? He's a ghost? He's a ghost?
Well, he's always
been a ghost the whole time. He's in the portrait. Why?
He's always been there. It's reincarnation, I think. I think it's maybe his bloodline was always there and he didn't know it. Which leads you to believe that he had something to do with the Native American stuff too.
Does it?
I think so, because he's always been there.
That's what I'm saying. There. It's such an open-ended fucking ending. That's what bugs me about it. It doesn't. It's almost the same as this fucking Jacob's Ladder review we just did last episode, where it's just like, okay, did none of this actually happen? Was this all in his head? Is this his own personal hell that we're watching? Who is in hell? Is it the kid? Is it the wife? Is it Jack? Who's in actual?
The hotel is hell.
Sure, but
it's the
who
labyrinth.
is this movie actually about? Who would you say in this movie is the main character? Because I already told you my opinion that I think that
I know you don't
Jack
think it's
was
Jack.
The antagonist, more of a. He was more part of the hotel than anything. Obviously, being that they're saying he was there the whole time. So who was the main character?
My answer is going to be a cop out. It's the hotel.
Yeah, it's a cop out.
It's the hotel. The hotel is the main character. The hotel will outlast all of them. History will outlast all of us. And we're always going to be in the places that we've been.
I can't wait to get a sound thing so I could just hit a big resounding boo For that fucking,
All right.
for that answer. Boo.
Okay. Hey.
Stuck.
Hey. It's hard. Like I said, it's hard
So
to carry you
why
up
do
a
you,
mountain.
why do you think? Because I didn't hate this movie, no, but I did not enjoy the ending. I didn't, and everything doesn't have to be closed up and tied in a little bow. I'm not opposed to movies having open endings that have some sort of direction as to what the ending should be interpreted as, right? There's
Yeah.
plenty of movies that have open-ended interpretation, endings. But this one I felt was just like super loosey-goosey at the end. I don't think they actually, I didn't read the book, but as far as what Stanley Kubrick did, I don't think he actually knows what he wanted his ending to be.
I haven't read the book in a long time. I really don't remember the ending of The Shining, personally.
Yeah.
Last time I read it, I think I was in high school. This works for me because no one dies at the end. Like, so with Jacob's Ladder, his death was the movie. Was the entire him trying to grapple
Mhm.
to stay back on Earth or go to die is the movie, right? This is not that. This is a supernatural force in this hotel. This is all these hundreds of years of history in this hotel. To me, this ending works better because it is supernatural. Jacob's Ladder was not supernatural. It was
No.
just
It was a journey of a soul going through Hades.
yes. And this is, we came here to this hotel for a job.
Going through the what's the other one? What's Dante's Inferno? Basically, was Jacob's Ladder.
Which he was reading in Jacob's Ladder, which I didn't get to say because you stepped all over me. But I think the hotel is the main character. I don't care. It's the main because it's got souls in it. It's got all these hundreds of years, and it's going to continue to have it.
It is the Shang Tsung Hotel.
Wow. Fucking nerd.
Mortal Kombat.
Let's review that next.
I would. It's on my list. It's on my
I'm
list.
okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You're not going to give this movie a 5 out of 5. This is a 5 out of 5. The movie's a 5 out of 5. It's always great.
It's not a 5 out of 5 for me. It's definitely a 4.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? And it is creepy and unnerving. It is beautifully shot.
Oh my God.
There's no doubt about that. It's beautifully shot. And everybody did their roles. Even Olive Oil, Wendy, who I know she's been in a ton of stuff. It's not like those are the only things she's ever been in, but that is probably the most prevalent role of my childhood that I remember her being in is Popeye. So like when I do see her, it's like, oh, this is a complete opposite vibe and energy of what my brain puts her in, right? But even her being terrified, and it's unfortunate that Stephen King felt that way about the role of that it was just
he just hated the movie.
Misogynistic.
He hated the movie.
That's fair. Like I think that yes, there was probably still more room to explore her character, but I think she did an amazing job in it. There was no point where you didn't feel as though she was terrified as fuck. I don't think there was enough interaction between her and the hotel though. That didn't happen till the end of the second act and the third act, where she was having those weird visions and seeing shit and fucked up things happening.
Okay,
where the kid had it from the jump.
Also, something I didn't mention was, remember when the red rum thing happens with Danny? How the fuck is she sleeping through all this?
I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Well, you can't. You can't until Dick gets there.
Jack can't until Dick gets there. I'm out of here.
But you would die.
Outside.
But if you just waited, you would have lived.
Maybe. Yeah.
Well, no, you would have shit your pants, personally.
Yeah.
I would have shit my pants. I'd be dead. I'd say, okay, all right, hotel. You win. You're a winner. Okay, let's recast it. And let's go away.
Yeah, you go first.
Director.
Mm.
How do you not make it still Stanley Kubrick? I mean, it can only be, right? It can only...
Christopher Nolan. You love Christopher Nolan.
The only other person I could see doing this is David Lynch.
I know the name. Remind me of his filmography.
Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, Inland Empire, Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive, man.
Yeah, it's the only person I could see doing this. Personally, I really like. Or David Cronenberg, maybe, but I would go with David Lynch. Jack Torrance. Very hard. It's got to be somebody who can really go. Who can really carry... I'm gonna go with Ewan McGregor, even though because he was in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah,
he played this character, I believe. But I would go with Ewan McGregor. Wendy Torrance, I would go with Jessie Buckley, who was in Fargo season 2 and 3, and I think I put her in something else recently. Or it could be Frances McDormand. Oh, she's older though. She's older. You know what? I'm gonna do something wild. I want Meryl Streep. I want Meryl. Young. Can it be young? Can I make them young Meryl, or does it have to be now Meryl?
I mean, is Ewan McGregor young Ewan McGregor? I mean,
No. Ewan McGregor's Ewan McGregor's what, in his 50s. Meryl's in her late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, you can't just do multiverse fucking casting, assholes. Just fucking pick a fucking. Come on now.
All right.
And granted, let me tell you something right now. I'm doing Jack, Wendy, the kid, and the black dude. That's as far as I'm going. I'm not casting anybody else.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Okay. Damn.
I don't care about the other roles. I mean, maybe the twin girls if you wanted to, for ha-has, but otherwise, for what?
Okay, you know what? Wendy Torrance, I'll go with Bryce Dallas Howard, Ron Howard's daughter.
You bastard.
Did you have that, really?
I did, yeah.
Wow. I don't know any kid actors. So, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage with a clean shave.
I don't know any kid actors, man. I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, that I couldn't tell you a kid actor. That'd be disingenuous.
Dick Halloran. Because it's a role that is very, very important to the film.
Too small.
But it's very small.
It should have been bigger because it alluded to that it was going to be bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
From the beginning. He's the one that gave the goddamn exposition of what was going on with the kid in the first place.
Yeah. I'll go with I'm gonna butcher his last name, but he was in Selma. David, is it Iwende? How do you say his last name?
I know you're talking about the main character.
Yeah, I can't think of his last name.
I forget, but I know you're talking about. Yeah,
I would go with him.
First name is David.
Yeah, I would go with him. Okay, those are the four. And David Lynch.
I think he's a little too young. Okay.
You could make up his. You could do that.
Yeah. All right. Here's my casting.
Go ahead.
Same thing for the kid. The kid is. I couldn't tell you a kid.
I can't.
Off the top of my head.
I can't do that for you.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you a kid off the top of my head, and I'll think about it later, and it'll piss me off. But anyway, for Jack Nicholson's role, I have John Bernthal.
No, you don't.
I do. I really do. I really think he would be dope at it.
What do you want to fuck this guy?
I think he'd be dope at it. The only... oh, heavens.
I think you do.
And then a A 2 and a 3 would be a 2 and a 3
You could put Tom Hardy in
interchangeable.
this.
No, he takes me out when he tries to do American roles. It takes me out.
Did you see Taboo? Did you ever watch Taboo, the show?
I loved Taboo.
So good.
Fucking phenomenal.
Bring it back, please.
My God, I really was so upset that they didn't continue
All
that
he
shit,
did
dude.
was walk around
It
and
was
look
amazing.
sulky, and it worked.
It was the storyline was crazy. This shit was amazing.
Good.
It had creepy white people from creepy white people times. It had secret African ancestry storylines with taboo, with voodoo, and man, it was dope. It was good shit. So yeah, John Bernthal, and I had Bryce Dallas Howard. I don't know who I would have because she has that homely look still. Bryce Dallas. I mean, she's bad.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous. Bryce Dallas.
She's not a good actress.
Still has like a. I think she's pretty good.
Yeah.
I never mind her stuff. Yeah. So I'll just stick with her. Bryce Dallas Howard. Yes. For the Magical Negro, I had Samuel L. Jackson. But I would, and this is, I know, granted, usually we have it being line for line, but I wish it would just be a more expansive role. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if you're putting Samuel L. Jackson in it, we could leave the lines where they are. Personally,
you don't like Samuel L. Jackson?
I like Sam. No, I do. But
you hate black actors?
No, but I'm
sorry, I read that wrong.
You did. My problem with Samuel L. Jackson
black
is
people.
No, I don't have a problem with black people. Clearly,
the blicks.
He sometimes hams it up a little bit in a place where I don't need him to.
He does, but I feel like it's like a Samuel. I mean, it would have to be his age now in his 70s.
We totally overlooked Morgan Freeman.
No, I think that's way on the nose. That's on the nose.
That's on the nose? Oh, okay.
That's on the
nose. Who wants that?
I couldn't do it. I don't want to see. That's what I'm saying, though. I want this to be more insidious movies. This is why I went with John Bernthal. I want it to be even darker. You know what I'm saying? Than what it is. And then for director, I would love to see a Jordan Peele version of this.
No kidding.
You don't say.
Really big shoe. A really big shoe. All right. 5 out of 5. My recast is way better. This guy's got Jordan Peele and fucking John Bernthal and everything.
You don't like Jordan Peele?
I don't look. I think he takes old stories and just modernizes them in a way where I don't give a fuck. I mean, Get Out is essentially a Goosebumps. It's a Goosebumps. The camera.
The problem with Get Out, and I'm so fortunate that we can't review that because it's modern, but that movie would have been so much better for me minus the comedy. I did not care for the comedy in that movie. It would have been. It just took me out the movie. It took me out.
What was his last one?
The last one was Up. No, Nope.
No, Up was...
He directed Up. Nope. Which at first, and I want to rewatch it. I saw it in the theater. At first watch, I was a little bit let down at the ending, but upon retrospect, I was like, that is a different twist on the notion of alien movies.
Nope is probably
definitely a different twist.
Nope is probably his best film, in my opinion.
So far, yeah, I would agree.
Us is awful.
I didn't think it was awful.
Awful.
It just had gigantic plot holes.
Okay, fix them.
Yeah, but like you said, with old movies, it had gigantic plot holes, and much in the same way that some of those old. But it's a trope on the old. It's a play on some old movies. It's definitely not a new concept. People living under us, carbon copies, body snatchers. That's not a new concept.
And Get Out, Are You Afraid of Dark did an episode where souls are trapped in cameras. Goosebumps did an episode where souls are trapped in cameras. It's just that with these white people are enslaving us again. It's just that.
But also, they're putting their brains into their bodies. So it's that.
Who cares, man? Who cares?
Who cares about black oppression? You're right. So with that being said, that's the end of this episode.
Hey, I donated the black oppression. I donate every day, dogs. We're gonna talk about November, whatever the movies are gonna be, and we're gonna have a special guest in December. Might have a few special guests coming around the corner, I think. Though a few of them I had to unfollow and block from my life. So.
And they'll still be on the show.
No,
cool.
No.
Oh,
we're gonna pivot. We're gonna pivot to some other people. And you know what I mean when I say other people, Don. You know what I mean.
Elaborate.
Sexy people trapped in cameras. No, we'll figure out.
Oh wait, I didn't do my. I'm sorry. I had two other alternatives for the Jack role. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we were all waiting.
It was Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, okay. You got something now.
Joaquin Phoenix and what's his face? American Psycho.
Bale.
Christian Bale. That would have been super hammy. That's like you said with Samuel. I find Christian Bale to be kind of. He's good. He's a good actor. Can't say he's not. But sometimes, like American Psycho, was like it was campy.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be. I mean, it was like super.
Yeah, it's campy. 80s campy shit. But yeah, I think Joaquin Phoenix. But even Joaquin Phoenix is like a pretty on the nose choice. And his would have been more depressed than anything.
But is he becoming
less insidious?
Is he becoming an on the nose choice for everything? Because he's like one of the few. Don't look at your phone. He's one of the few great. Yeah. I mean, how many like all world actors are there right now? Like all world. There's DiCaprio.
I don't know how much people like Joaquin Phoenix in India. What do you mean all world? What does that mean?
I mean like all world, like great, the greatest.
Oh,
that's what all world means, though.
I don't think people in Cambodia care for him one bit.
Number one in Laos. No, like who is out there right now that you go, I'm going because he's there in it.
Yeah, I would say it's a Joaquin Phoenix, it's DiCaprio. It's
De Niro still. I'll still go see what he does.
I am loving watching the development of John David Washington. I don't think he's there yet.
He's got a few years.
The development.
He's got a few years.
I think he's going to be a somebody. I felt the same way about. Well, he was a big somebody very early, but Chadwick Boseman was a big fucking deal. He was probably going to be one of those next top stars.
Probably. He was great in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Like fucking.
I didn't see that one yet.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like. I don't run out anymore. Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis could have had a really sick version of this movie.
Probably could have done that. Yeah.
His character from Gangs of New York. Just imagine that type.
Bill the Butcher. Yeah.
Yeah, brutality.
Now, who else? Who else is there? I mean, Jesse Plemons, who you will know very soon. He's amazing.
Is that the heavy-set blonde guy?
Yeah, he's lost some weight now, and he's in Killers of the Flower Moon. He's in Killers of the Flower Moon.
He always plays character. He's a character actor, though.
But
you know what? But he reminds me, though.
Don't say
of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I knew you were gonna say it. It's wrong.
Because white and blonde. That's it.
That's it. I know. It's so
white,
wrong.
Blonde, husky. That's it.
I mean, you want to?
No, but I think he has a certain amount of gravitas that makes people feel like, why is he to the left of the main character and not the main character?
He's going to be a main character very soon.
But I feel like people felt the same way about Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Capote.
Well, yeah, that one. What else? He had one really great movie, Capote. Everything else, he was not the main guy.
Love Liza, Flawless. Trying to think of everything I've seen Philip Seymour Hoffman make.
That is where he's the main
The
character.
Master.
That's his movie.
The Master.
The Master, he wasn't the main character. It was fucking Joaquin Phoenix was the main character.
He's the Master.
It's about the character, but it's not. That's not the character. That's the main character. Joaquin Phoenix is.
Fuck. What was a movie where he was the Russian? Oh, fuck. Really good character. Really bad movie. Forget the name of it. Came out like right before he passed away, 2010. He was main character in God's Pocket. That wasn't very good though. Jack Goes Boating. He was the main character, and that movie's fucking amazing. Philip Seymour Hoffman. He was on his way to being the greatest of all time. It wasn't even going to be close. He was
a really good. I mean, he's just not. I don't think he had the genetic makeup stupid. To be. He doesn't have the genetic makeup of a Leonardo DiCaprio.
You can lose weight.
Like a face. No, it doesn't matter. He's still a small guy.
I don't think that's true.
Lose weight is one thing. That's fine. Peter Dinklage is somebody that could lead a leading actor role. He's done it. You know what I'm saying? There's some interesting stuff, but he only is going to lead in so many movies. He's limited by his body structure. Same thing with Philip Seymour Hoffman.
He was not a small guy. I don't think that's true at all.
He was like 5'9".
I don't think that's true.
5'9", 5'8" tops.
Hold on. We're still doing this show.
This is not an argument. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
5'11".
Lies.
That's what it says.
I don't believe it. He does not show up as 5'11". He telling me this guy was 6 feet fucking tall.
I said he was 5'11". I'm 6 feet tall.
With some good boots, he's 6 feet tall.
I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is that I've seen the man. I saw the man on stage too, and I never wept before by somebody just doing a movement. He was so prolific that in Death of a Salesman, in the second act, he made himself shrink, and I don't know how he did it, and I'll never know how he did it.
He took the insoles out of his shoes.
No, he did it while he was
5'9".
He did it while
that is a WWE billing of 5'11".
He did it while he was on stage. He made a motion and he just shrunk. I'll never understand how he did it, and it made me weep uncontrollably.
What would a Philip Seymour Hoffman version of The Shining be? You think that would be interesting? He's already played a writer. I think he can carry it.
I think he could carry it, but I
think once again it can't be line for line. It would have to be more expanded. You would have to dive into that character, Jack's character, more, which I don't think they did. There was no humanity given to the character.
I want to read this book again because it's literally 3 feet behind me. I'm going to read this fucking book again and see how far.
The book's got to be better than the movie. And that's got to be why this dude hates that movie so much. He probably derailed so far from the fucking book.
But also with books, especially the way King writes, he'll write the exterior of a place and it'll be 20 pages describing the exterior of a place.
Fair.
You can't do that.
That's fair. I'm not talking about length necessarily, though. And it doesn't even mean that you have to include every single minute detail in the book.
I know what you're saying.
But it was still to me, this was still a very surface movie, man. Very surface to me. I'm sorry. There's crazy ghosts in a hotel. That's it. This guy's an asshole. That's it. This kid's finger talks to him. That's it.
I don't think you're looking deep enough.
He has a psychic ability. He can only talk to one person who died within 3 minutes.
I just don't think you're looking deep enough. Honestly,
I don't think there's much.
I think there's done.
I think it's perhaps.
I think there's
what reason would there be for them to have been nominated for worst films? And it came in number 12 that year. Wasn't even top 10 films.
I can't tell you why but look, we did this. Look at the 6 that were the top 6. Absolute trash. It's trash.
Amazing.
Star Wars?
Blues Brothers. Star Wars I love, first of all, so fuck yourself on that
I know. You and every other fucking virgin. I just don't get.
I do it.
All right, we'll see you.
I do it plenty. All right? I do it plenty. I'm taking a mic with me.
Are you daring me? It's microphone's fight. All right, we'll see you. This is going crazy.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Close this thing, man.
All right, it's been another episode of We'll Fix It in Post old ass movie reviews.
And we're gonna let you know about November whenever we figure out November.
This was pretty dope. This was the culmination of all of our October horror films. So that was our first month of theme. Because the first month we didn't have a theme.
That's how I fuck.
All right. Well, I'm out of here.
Yeah.